Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Nikola Tesla hated the idea of war and designed his death ray in the hopes that he could completely eliminate warfare. Imagine a beam of energy that could bring down planes from miles away with nothing but electricity. Upon having tested the device in 1908, Tesla was overcome with concern as the readings were many times over what he expected. On that same day was the Tunguska event. The event was an approximately 12 megaton explosion that occurred near the Potaminaya Tunguska River in Yenisei Governorate, Russia, on the morning of June 30th, 1908. Could have the death ray been the real cause, not a meteor?
Now, I've heard of the Tunguska event and how they believe it was a meteor that hit that particular area. And I was watching Explore the Weird the other day, and someone in the comments said that it was Nikola Tesla testing his death ray. So, of course, I had to go and find it. And that is absolutely fantastic. What if it actually was Tesla tinkering with something and he brought something down, or did it strike that area and cause all that devastation? But it's interesting how it was, around the same time he was doing all of his experimenty things.
Doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance, and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
Whoops.
Uh-oh, sounds to me like somebody said the quiet parts out loud.
The View co-host, Sunny Hostin's world has been rocked as her surgeon husband faces shocking allegations in one of New York's largest federal insurance fraud cases ever. Dr. Emmanuel Hostin has been named among nearly 200 defendants in a bombshell lawsuit that's sending shockwaves through the medical community. The explosive lawsuit claims the respected orthopedic surgeon participated in a massive scheme involving fraudulent surgeries and kickbacks targeting taxi and rideshare insurance claims. American Transit Insurance Company is seeking a staggering $450 million in damages, alleging doctors performed unnecessary surgeries on accident victims for profit. Dr. Hostin's attorney has fired back, vehemently denying all allegations and calling it a scattershot, meritless lawsuit by a struggling insurance carrier. The couple, married for 25 years with 2 children, now faces this unexpected storm as their seemingly perfect life is thrust into the spotlight.
My, how the turntables. She's constantly talking about how Trump's a felon, yet she's married to one, and she outed him on TV. Dude, he's looking at like 20 years right now. I am thoroughly interested to see how this all goes.
Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Leonardo DiCaprio. All of these people will tell you that global warming is real and that the tides are rising. And yet they all own multi-million-dollar houses on the ocean. You need to understand that 99% of the things that we are told are simply a Trojan horse to get us to comply to the narrative. They will tell us to use paper straws, and yet they will fly their private jets all around the world. They will make us pay for plastic bags, and yet everything in the grocery store is covered in plastic. There's a reason that these people do not practice what they preach unless there is a camera on them. You need to be extremely careful about who you listen to and understand that there is an intention behind everything in the media. Now it is your job to figure out who has the right intentions.
Dude, absolute facts. It's just like Zuckerberg the other day. We talked about him buying that yacht, yet he's all screaming about global warming and all this crap. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Why would they buy houses on the freaking waterfront if they're worried about the water washing away their house? It's just because they're being paid. They'll say anything for the right amount of money.
You guys, I've been getting bits and pieces of this, but I haven't seen a complete list until now of all the celebrities that have lost their homes in the Palisades fire. This is unbelievable. Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, Miley Cyrus. She's lost 2 homes to fires. That's crazy. Ben Affleck, Jamie Lee Curtis, Anthony Hopkins, Billy Crystal, John Goodman, James Woods, Maria Shriver, Mandy Moore, Eugene Levy, Miles Teller, Paris Hilton, Fergie, Adam Brody, Leighton Meester, Anna Faris, Diane Warren, Heidi Montag, Spencer Pratt, Cameron Matheson, Ricky Lake, Betsy Johnson. This is unbelievable. I mean, this is not just about celebrities. I mean, it's about everybody that has suffered a tragedy by losing their homes or their animals or whatever. But clearly, Hollywood has burned down, or at least the Palisades. This is unbelievable.
I am seeing so many posts of people just ripping through these movie stars or these Hollywood elite. Oh, they have more money. That's not their only home. So what? That may be the case, but they've lost everything there. That still sucks. They're still people, for crying out loud. What sucks the most is how the California politicians prepared for this type of situation. We're going to get into it in a little bit. It is absolutely abysmal.
This is not Maui. I know that that is hard to believe, but this is not Lahaina. This is the Pacific Palisades, the aftermath after the Palisades fire, which is still 0% contained. This is drone footage of a neighborhood in between Santa Monica and Malibu. And as you can see here, the whole entire neighborhood is decimated. There is not one house standing. There is not one tree standing. Everything is charred to a crisp, just like Maui. And I'm starting to think that it's in the government playbook that every time there's a disaster in the United States, that is a cue to give more money to Ukraine. Today it was announced that Biden is going to give a final $500 million to Ukraine in military aid. I also learned today that the United States Agency for International Development, the USAID, an independent federal agency, has funded Ukraine with 16 fire departments with gear and rescue tools. Meanwhile, California has no water in the hydrants, and we are just left behind. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll be offered a $750 check from FEMA.
There was quite a bit in there, so let's unpack it a little bit, shall we? Yes, Biden's like, hey, we're sending $500 million more over to Ukraine. Because that's where our money should be going, and we're all super excited about sending more money over there, aren't we? Not only that, but Governor Newsom said that he had texted Biden, and Biden's like, don't worry, you're going to be reimbursed for all of this fire putting outing expenses. What? Did he jump that fast for the folks in North Carolina? I don't think so. They're still in a lot of devastation over there. Nothing's going on. And when is Kamala going to show up with the $750 checks from FEMA? Huh? Oh, she doesn't need to do any publicity stunts anymore. I forgot. She probably won't show up at all. Not only that, but the fire hydrants didn't have water. And Governor Newsom's like, oh, it's the local folks. It's their problem. Hello, you're the governor of the entire state. You're supposed to be making sure that all this crap is working, that your people are safe, dude.
Okay, I guess let's park along this street, yeah? And then, Dave, if you can, just go ahead of us and try to set up a signal.
Right here. This is where it's gotta be. This is, oh my God. What? I've never, look at this. Beyond comprehension. Oh. That's crazy.
I did some major dot connecting, and it took my mom calling me to get it all figured out. She says, can't your company go out there and, help with that? And while that is sort of in our wheelhouse, that is a bigger scale than we are accustomed to. Besides, I told her, everybody's going to file a claim with their insurance, and then they'll hire contractors to figure it out. Even though a lot of insurance companies just recently dropped everybody's fire insurance. Right? So that's crazy. And it made me think, with all of this land cleared out now, what if some major developer just comes in and buys everybody out for crap money and throws in a whole bunch of, I don't know, apartment buildings or something? That's a lot of money to be made in that area. And now all these people are gone. Maybe we did get Maui'd. I don't know.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Of course she doesn't have anything to say. She was on a taxpayer-funded trip to Ghana for a presidential inauguration. She's a mayor of LA. Why does she need to be in Ghana for that? And she knew the winds were coming. And she knew what she did just 2 months ago. Here's what she did have to say once she was given her script.
To those who fled their homes, especially those who have lost your homes, our hearts are breaking for you, and we stand with you. I know the world is looking at images of our city's devastation. I have seen the front lines of the Palisades fire, and it is staggering. Tonight, more people may get evacuation orders, and if they do, please leave immediately. If you have an evacuation warning, get ready to go. Protect yourself and each other, and support our firefighters on the front lines. Our strategy included preparations and pre-deployment, and it now includes fire crews from around the state and from our federal partners. I spoke with President Biden today and Governor Newsom earlier today, and they assured me of full federal and state support.
She's such a politician. Somebody dubbed over her speech and said what she probably should have said. Check it out.
Okay, first of all, I know what everybody is thinking. I did cut the budget from the fire department. Instead of using that money that could have helped combat these fires, I chose to spend it on our homeless. And because of my actions, now you are all homeless. I had no idea that by cutting the budget of $17.6 million from our fire department, that this would ultimately lead to our downfall. And because of that, I can no longer go hang out at the Getty Villa. I fled to Ghana because just like David Chappelle, when he broke out of his contract, I did not want to deal with that backlash. I decided to take a trip to get my mind off things. And the more and more I saw the fires grow on my phone, I felt more guilty. So I decided to take a U-turn back on a military plane. Once again, I would like to apologize for everybody who voted me to be your mayor.
Yeah, 2 months ago, she cut $17.6 million from the fire department of LA. Why? For the homeless. But our homeless population has been steadily increasing. Good job. She's just as useless as Newsom. And I think in light of this stuff happening, there's going to be a huge political shift in California, and I cannot wait.
China just issued a 100% ban on all exports to the United States for precious minerals. The minerals in question: gallium, germanium, antimony. Now, where do we use those precious minerals? Oh my God, that's so funny that you would ask. Military equipment for the US. Computer chips. Phones, cars, Xboxes, PlayStations, any smart product that you have, quite literally anything that requires a computer chip, which these days is your vacuum cleaner, batteries, battery packs, chargers, you name it, that's what goes in it. And guess who was 50% supplier to the US for those minerals? Yeah, I'll let you guess.
This is Beijing engaging in supply chain warfare because, yeah, we do get a lot of stuff from them. And Trump is like, we're going to put tariffs on all of that stuff, which is going to force us to figure out how to do it in America. So them cutting us off is basically like, no, you're not going to put tariffs on it. We're just not going to give it to you at all. So that was kind of the plan anyway, right? So now we got to figure out how to do it here.
I'm not trying to be that guy, but isn't the places where all the fires are at where all of Diddy's places and like all his friends and all that? Like, wouldn't it be weird if all the evidence was getting burned right now?
Well, that's one hell of a theory. Maybe it is. I don't know who the hell was at Diddy's parties, and I don't know who the hell lives in Pacific Palisades, but sure, why not?
Famous one is the all-American breakfast. You get your eggs, you get your bacon, you get your sausages, you get your orange juice, you get your milk. But 100 years ago, a breakfast wasn't a thing. So Edward Bernays, known as the father of propaganda, launched the breakfast campaign because the meat industry came to him and said, dude, we're slacking on meat sales. What can we do? So he's like, it's too hard to convince the average person. I need to go to the people that are already sources of authority. So what did he go and do? He went and convinced the doctors, the pediatricians, that breakfast was the most essential diet. With all these studies and all these experiments and all this bullshit, it was all paid propaganda. So Edward Bernays launches the breakfast propaganda campaign and turns breakfast into a rousing success. He did it as well with cigarettes.
Well, every single meal and everything you're supposed to eat for every single meal and every single food out there has just been propagandized. And that's just the way that it is.
See something funny? Wha-bam! So, I've seen these memes before where they talk about how dairy cows are hooked up to a machine for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until they're discarded because they can no longer be milked. Why is this one so funny? It's literally a picture from my window that they stole off of my page. That's my rotary in that picture. So for those of you that have never seen a rotary before, the cows get on right there, they walk on, they voluntarily walk on, they take about a 9-minute trip around, and then they back out, and then they go back out. They're done for the day. Well, technically, it takes 2 milkings for them to be done for the day. So a total of, let's call it 20 minutes a day, where they are being milked. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
I'm not anti-vegan at all, and I don't go around telling everybody that they need to be carnivore because that's not my jam. You know, everybody does what's right for their body, but putting something like that up and saying that they milk them until they just get rid of the cows, that's irresponsible. I mean, yeah, you have your stance, but I don't think it's fair to demonize people for having a different lifestyle. Have your own lifestyle, let them have theirs, to each his own. And know the facts. Don't lie about it. If it's fact, and it's undeniable. But when you lie about it, I don't know, it's petty. It's petty.
The fleas are placed inside the jar and the lid is then sealed. They are left undisturbed for 3 days. Then, when the jar is opened, the fleas will not jump out. In fact, the fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid. Their behavior is now set for the rest of their lives. And when these fleas reproduce, their offspring will automatically follow their example. This is how generational trauma truly works.
Clearly, that's a societal metaphor. They put us all in a jar with a lid, and we only jump as high as that lid because that's where they tell us we can jump to. Even when they take the lid off, we don't jump any higher because we have been trained. Don't be trained. Train your brain to think new thoughts, do research, speak out against the narrative. It's all right to jump as high as you want.
Very early in 2025, all hell is going to break loose. The volume of sightings, weird objects in the sky, it's off the charts. I am swamped by people sending me videos from all over the world. And it's not just in Bedminster, New Jersey. It's not just in the United Kingdom. It's India, Greenland, Russia, Kazakhstan, China, Japan. I cannot believe the volume of sightings that are going on at the moment. Something is showing itself in our skies. We are going to look back and we are going to say that the autumn of the drones was a turning point. There's consistent sightings of drones over military facilities. It sounds like nothing at the moment, but I wager it's going to turn out to be enormous. I think 2024 in future will be seen, ironically, as the calm before the storm. A reckoning is coming.
Am I the only one that feels like that is happening every single year? Everybody's like, oh, this is the year. Oh, it's going to be next year. Can we just have something like absolutely insane happen already? Because that'd be fantastic.
I feel like I'm going to be sick. I just, looked through my Walmart history, and I found this, Walmart order from 2 years ago for the whole month worth of groceries. 45 items cost $126. A whole month of groceries just for me, basically. But I did notice this reorder all button, and I wanted to see how much it would cost now. Now? This order of 45 items for 1 month would have cost $414. That is 4 times more. How? What?
I actually just went into my Walmart app and I tried to do that, and I pulled up something from January of 2021, which is insane. And it was 106 items that I went and picked up at the store, and it was $242, something like that. And I tried to reorder all of them and it only gave me 15 things. So I wasn't able to verify that. If anybody else has the Walmart app and you can verify that, let me know. Hell, if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments below. I respond to everybody.
There should be a law that if an insurance company denies your claim for a life-saving treatment, that they have to refund every single premium that you paid to them. Because if they can't save your life, then they shouldn't get to keep your money.
I'm sure we can all agree with that, but in the same breath, good luck getting it to pass. It's a damn shame.
Look at Jesse Waters' outrage because one CEO got Luigi'd. One CEO. Where was the outrage when we had 81 school shootings in 2024? Where is Sean Hannity's frustration at the 2,566 kids unalived by guns in 2023? Where is Laura Ingram's exasperation at the 18,874 firearm-related homicides in 2023? And finally, where's the anger from the media at the 68,000 number of Americans who are unalived each year due to a lack of health care? I hope you'll remember this simple example when you see the talking heads in our mass media telling us how we should be upset because one man was a victim of gun violence in the streets of America. I want you to remember when they tell you how outraged you should be because another person reached his breaking point because our system broke him. So when the media asks me to be outraged by one man's anger and desperation and act of violence, I'm afraid all I have to offer is thoughts and prayers.
I don't even have thoughts and prayers. I'm more of a tots and pears girl.
Taking a video, bro. I got pictures. Fuck. Yep. Oh, wait.
I've never seen anything like that before. I just thought that was absolutely crazy. Totally blew my mind. I mean, it's creative. I give them points for creativity, but that's like risking your life right there. That's crazy.
Now, I love myself a good Oreo just as much as the next guy, but there comes a time where you have to ask yourself, what the f is in an Oreo? I just finished watching a video where a guy took a torch to an Oreo for 30 seconds, and the Oreo was perfectly fine.
0.1 second.
Okay, now that's nothing.
0.5 second. 1 second. 3 second.
3 seconds. Good long while.
5 second. 30 second.
What are we putting in ourselves? What is it in an Oreo that can withstand that heat that not even wood can withstand that? We have to start asking ourselves what it is that we are putting in our bodies, because this is not normal. This is not normal at all. This is nuts. So good. This is crazy. And watch when he turns it off. Barely anything.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I was expecting it to be some grand reveal where it's not on fire and it looks just fine, but it was still on fire, so it's kind of a little misleading. I apologize for that, but at the same time, it's still pretty much intact, which is, you know, a little scary to know that that's food. Once in a while, I do miss cookies, though. I think I'm due for a cheat day. On that note, I'm calling it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I know we got a little more political than usual today, but there's a lot going on. Come on back in a couple of days because we're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day. Oh my goodness. So my mom calls me today and gives me the mom news. My kids call her mom. And the mom news of the day was, did you know that Trump's vice president, he dropped out and now Trump's already hired a new person? And I'm like, what? J.D. Vance just dropped out of being vice president? My husband's over in his chair and he's like, no, he just, had to vacate his Senate seat because he's the vice president now. And yeah, that's my mom for you. She calls me probably 2-3 times a day with some fantastic piece of corrupted news. I love it. I love that woman. I love you, Mom.